at a very high level that DMAIC methodology is a structured way of problem solving in the Six Sigma. And this DMAIC methodology is used for improving the existing process, the existing product. That means if your process is running for more than 1 year, if your process is running for more than 1 year, and if variability is the issue. So currently your process is running for more than 1 year, and you are finding that your yield rate is varying to a large extent. Maybe on 1 month it is around 80%, and in the next month it is around 98%. In the next month again it is coming down to 85%, right? So a lot of variation is there in the yield, and your process is running for more than 1 year. So those type of problem, you can just select them as a problem to be solved using the DMAIC methodology. So existing process and existing products. So let us now learn about what are the different activities we do in each phase of the DMAIC methodology. So first we start with the define phase. So in the define phase, we first identify the customers. We identify the customers who are having some problem in terms of quality or price or on-time delivery or response time, right? So we are going to identify the customers who are having the problems with our product or services. So once we identify the customers, then we listen to the voice of customer. We call it a VOC, voice of customer. So we'll try to talk to him and then try to understand what is the real issue, whether there is a problem with the price or quality or delivery or the response. So either you talk directly to the customer or you talk to your sales or the customer service or the quality team who are in touch with the customer, and then they will again tell you what is the problem the customers are facing, right? So once you listen to the voice of customer to understand the problem, then you link it to critical to X factor. So what is causing more pain to the customer? So if you ask the customer, he may say that, okay, with respect to your quality or price, I don't have any issues, but I am not very convinced or I am not very comfortable with the delivery. So that means in that case, the CTX is CTD, critical to delivery. So if the customer says that the quality is the problem, he is facing a problem because of the quality, then it is CTQ, right? So X can be anything. So if the customer is facing problem because of delivery, it is CTD. If the customer is facing problem with the quality, then it is CTQ, critical to quality. If the price is a problem, it is CTP, price, critical price and so on. So you listen to the voice of customer, try to talk to the customer, and then try to link it to critical to X factor. What is the major issue? So the customer may say that, okay, maybe I am not very comfortable with the delivery performance. So once you have identified that the critical to delivery is the issue for the customer, then you link it to a measurable metric. So how you are measuring the delivery? So you are measuring the delivery by calculating the percentage on-time delivery. That means if 100 deliveries are made from your organization today, out of these 100 deliveries, how many deliveries were made on or before the time as requested by the customer? For example, out of these 100 deliveries, only 80 deliveries have gone on or before the delivery time as requested by the customer. Then the percentage on-time delivery is 80 divided by 100, that is 80%. And you have agreed with the customer that the percentage on-time delivery will be more than 95%. That means there is a huge gap between the current performance and the target what you have given to the customer. And then this gap can be filled by taking the as a 60. Right? So you identify the customer, talk to the customer and listen to the voice of customer, link it to the critical to X factor, what is causing more pain, link it to a measurable metric, how you are going to measure the performance, and then quantify the current status, fix the target, Then define the scope of the project. So what is the, like maybe you are delivering to many customers. So which customer, which product, which defect type. So try to narrow down the scope of the project, define the scope of the project, and then appoint the project leader and project team. Write the business case. Business case is nothing but the document on what are the benefits you are going to get by doing the project, and what are the problems you are going to face if the project is not taken up. So you'll have to give a justification for taking the project, and then you prepare the schedule when each phase is going to start and end. And then you also give the budget, what is the cost you are doing the project, and then the high level assumptions and constraints. So document the high level assumptions and constraints. So you document all these things in a single page document called as the project chart. So the project charter is the major deliverable from the defined phase, right? So you start with the customer, listen to the voice of customer, understand the pain point, link it to a critical to extractor, then link it to a measurable metric, quantify the current status, compare it with the target. If there is a huge gap, then you just define the scope of the project, appoint the project leader and the project team, write the business case, why the project is taken up, what are the benefits you are going to get, schedule and budget for the project, high level assumption and constraint, and then document the project charter. So project charter is the major deliverable as far as the defined phase is concerned, right? Okay. So once you have completed the defined phase, then you move on to the measure phase. So in the measure phase, as I was telling you again, so you are going to collect a lot of accurate data. You collect accurate data from the process. So even before you start collecting the data, you will have to do the measurement system analysis. So this is measurement system analysis, which is called as MSA. This is a statistical tool that will help you to check whether your measurement system is capable of giving accurate data. Because as I told you that getting accurate data is very important in any Six Sigma project, because you are going to analyze the data with the help of the statistical tool. So if your data is not accurate, and this inaccurate data, if you are going to analyze with the help of the statistical tool, then the conclusions, whatever you are going to make, may not be accurate. And in that case, again, you may not be able to solve the problem. So in order to ensure that your measurement system is capable of giving accurate data, then you have to do the measurement system. And then you also do the process capability analysis. So what is the process capability in terms of sigma level, right? So maybe currently, based upon your defect rate, your current process capability is only 3.2 sigma level, right? Then you can just fix a target that you want to improve the process capability from 3.2 to maybe 3.8. So you just do the analyze and improve phase. And after the improvements are completed, again, you do the process capability analysis. And if you are able to get the process capability in the range 3.8 or 3.9, you will be able to compare apple to apple, and you will be able to establish that real improvement has been achieved. So the data collection, measurement system analysis, and the process capability analysis. These are the three major activities which we do in the measure phase of the Six Sigma. In the define phase, whatever the data you are collected from the measure phase, you are going to analyze with the help of the statistical tool. And at the end of the analyze phase, you are going to finalize the 3 or 4 critical root causes which are having the major impact on the problem, right? So even though for a problem, maybe you may start with identifying some 50 to 60 potential root causes, but out of it, finally, you will find that only 3 or 4 root causes are very critical, and they are contributing to 80 to 90% of the total problem in the process. So you just at the end of the analysis phase, you just identify 3 or 4 critical root causes validated by statistical tools. So this is a very important and unique feature of Six Sigma. Validating the critical root causes with the help of the statistical tool is a unique approach in a Six Sigma, right? So that whatever the root causes you are identifying, these are very correct. So because you are collecting the data and you are validating with the help of the statistical. Then in the improve phase, you are going to take action, take improvement action. Only on the 3 to 4 critical. So many times in our real life, what we do, whenever there is a problem, we just do a brainstorming session. We may identify some 10 or 15 root causes. Then immediately we will just prepare an action plan, implement the action plan. But we are not very sure whether the real root causes have been identified or not. So what may happen is maybe for a small amount of time, the problem seems to be solved. But again, within 3 to 4 months, again, the problem may repeat. But if you are going to do this as a Six Sigma project, then you are going to validate the root causes with the help of a statistical tool, and you are going to take action on the critical root causes so that permanent corrective actions are taken. Then, during the control phase, you are going to put in some control mechanism in place. So, control mechanism to sustain the improvement. Then what happens is, even today, even though in your organization, you are not implementing Six Sigma, it is not that you are not making any improvement. Definitely, you are making some improvement, and that is the only reason you are still in the business. If you are not been improving, then you would have been out of the business long ago, right? But only problem here is that even though you are making some improvement, you are not putting in some control mechanism or sustaining mechanism in place, so that over a period of time, the process will slowly deteriorate, and then you will go back to the old way of working. So in order to avoid that, in the Six Sigma methodology, you are going to put in some control mechanism in place so that you will be able to sustain the improvement, right? So you are going to learn about some of the lead tools like 5S, Kanban, Pocoyoke. So these are all some of the tools that will help you to sustain them. So once you have completed the control phase, then you just close the report, close the project formally, make a closing report. So closing report is also a single page document like a project pattern. So you document what are the problems you wanted to solve. So what are the target you wanted to achieve, and what data you collected from the process, which were identified as the critical root causes, and what improvement actions were taken, and what control mechanisms were put in place, and what are the likely improvement and savings are likely to get. So once you formally close the project, then the actual savings that has been realized will be monitored for a period of 1 year. So the project leader, project manager will give the details on the savings that has been approved, and the finance department will validate whether the cost saving numbers are okay, and they will just track for a period of 1 year. Right? So this is how the Six Sigma project is taken under the DMAIC methodology. Any questions or any doubts on this, you can just ask me. DMAIC methodology. So there are different approaches of that in the Six Sigma project, and the DMAIC methodology is the most commonly used approach. Okay. So just now we have learned that the DMAIC methodology is used for improving the existing process and existing product. That means if the product is running for more than 1 year, if the process is running for more than 1 year, then we will use the DMAIC methodology. But then again, you may just ask me, like I have just started a new process, and this new process is running only for the last 5 or 6 months, and then I'm facing a lot of problems. So I am not able to get the required yield, or I am not able to get the required productivity. Then what can I do? So for that, we use a different methodology, which is called as the DMAIC approach. It's also called as the DFSS, that is designed for fixing. So if you want to improve a new process or a new product, then you go for a methodology which is called the DFSS, designed for Six Sigma, where you use the DMADV approach. So this DMADV approach is used for re-engineering the existing products or processes. For example, assume that currently your yield is at 90%.